Hey everybody, we are now going to do the review of the 2.5-inch figures from the Jakks Pacific Wave 1. But first, I wanted to take a quick look at the Green Hill playset, as I pretty much stuck every accessory from Wave 1 and 2 on it. So we see Tails' item box, we see the Master Emeralds right there, Metal Sonic's dummy spring is here, the spike trap, Shadow's 10 ring. If you're wondering where the third ring is, I have my regular Sonic figure holding it in his holding thing hand, and then there's the 2 rings that this set came with, Sonic spring along with the spring that it came with. Although this is not a removable accessory. I mean, you can pluck it off, but it doesn't have a peg that the other things can plug into. So just wanted to give you a quick look at what all the accessories look like when they're plugged into the base. You can put them in whatever order you want, and you would have room for everything. Well, you would have room for all 3 of the rings if it wasn't for Sonic the Hedgehog up there. So I find it kind of interesting that if you got one of every figure, not counting the re-releases of Sonic and Tails, then there's exactly enough pegs on the Green Hill playset to accommodate all of their accessories. Okay, so that being said, let's actually look at the figures. Okay, so here they are in their packaging. I wanted the Chow to be up front and center because despite being in the 2.5-inch scale, it actually is technically 4-inch scale because, as we all know, Chow are supposed to be tiny. And he's also the only figure that comes with accessories, which again makes me think that this is how they chose to sneakily stick in a small figure that's meant to display with the 4-inch scale. I approve of this. I say, instead of making smaller versions of the characters that are going to be in the 4-inch scale, use this line to make smaller characters in canon. Chow's a good place to start, but we could also do Chip from Sonic Unleashed. We could do alternate variants of the Chows, like the Hero Chow and the Dark Chow, or one with a bow tie to actually be Cheese. We can do some of the badniks, the smaller badniks at least. I think Motobug, Caterkiller, whatever the bat thing from Marble Garden Zone was called, etc. would make great ones. Oh, you know what would be a good one? From Spring Yard Zone in Sonic 1, there was a badnik that could roll up into a ball, and it was based off of an armadillo. I don't remember what that one was called, but it would be a really cool figure to make, especially if it actually could close up into a ball, kind of like a Bakugan. Although, you know, way before, like Sonic was doing it way before Bakugan was. So yeah, and then there's the other 4 figures behind it. But you know, like these are just smaller versions of figures that we already have larger toys of. But let's get them out of the packaging and see their merits. Okay, so here is the entire wave standing shoulder to shoulder, and in all of its weird QC issue glory. I'm looking at you, Knuckles. We'll get to you. But first things first, I want to say some quick things about stuff. Number 1, I think Sonic's legs may have been bent in the packaging because I can't get both of his feet flat. With the Green Hill version of the figure, both of his legs were relatively flat on the ground. As you can see, this one appears to be in mid-step. Although aside from that, there isn't really anything significantly different. I think maybe, yes, the fist on Sonic's left hand appears to be slightly rotated so that you can see his fingers more on this version of the figure. That appears to be the only significant molding change between these 2 figures. Yeah. No real difference in their paint, no difference in their expression. And like I said, I think this thing going on with his foot is caused to the plastic deforming due to being put in the blister card. So, yeah, like, a slightly rotated left hand is the only difference between the version that came with the Green Hill playset and the individual release. So, yeah, it's good to know that that's out of the way. I might make this into a custom of somebody, maybe Scourge, you know, like do my traditional thing of, like, Scourge was the first figure I ever customized, so, yeah, maybe we might do that. But let's get him out of the way. Alright, the Chow, pretty fantastically. He comes with the exact same 3 rings that the Green Hill playset came with. They have holes in the bottom that go into pegs, that's fine. And since everybody has a holding thing hand, like it would be, like even if you didn't buy the Green Hill playset, if you bought this, you would have rings for your characters to hold. That's good. Hooray, the Chow is definitely the winner of the line for this. Speaking of the Chow, let's take a closer look at him. I feel like they should have used a more vivid yellow paint because it doesn't really look vibrant enough. In fact, it almost looks like it looks green because the yellow isn't strong enough to overpower the blue. So they definitely need to go over that again. That being said, he is painted. He has a very nicely tampographed on face, the wings are pink, and he has posability. He has a neck joint, so he can look left and right. He has pin disc shoulders, allowing for all kinds of movement. And that is infinitely more than you can say about Tomi's Chow, which, as we recall, had absolutely no paint work except for the tampography of the face. I had to paint the wings and the yellow parts myself, and it has 0 posability. It's just a statue. So, yes, it is a little bit bigger because this is 4-inch scale instead of 3-inch scale, but yes, he has posability. He has better paint. I mean, he is painted. Could stand to have even better paint because, like I said, this yellow does not really seem to have much. But you know what? I'll give it to him. He still looks good. Hooray for the Chow. Everybody, if you want the Chow, grab it. I have a feeling this is going to be the hardest one to get in the set because everyone's going to want to go with the 4-inch figures because, like I said, this is for the 4-inch scale. I gotta say great things about Tails. Tails can actually stand despite his tails being upwards, and they don't have to stay that way, as they are attached to his butt with a ball joint. So they can come out, they can go down. When they're down, you can curl them up so that it's not pushing him forward. They can go to the side if you like them, if you want to have a whole standing in hero wind look with them off to the side. And he has universal pin discs in both the shoulders and hips, just like everybody else. He has a cute little smirk painted in, and is very well painted. This looks good. I just kind of feel weird because it looks like his left arm is bending backwards slightly at the elbow. That does not look comfortable. Hey, come on, focus. There we go. Yeah, see? Looks weird. So yeah, a weird left arm aside, pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, so yeah, I really do like this Tails. I mean, it's not as good as the 4-inch Tails, but you know, it's fine. It's good. Metal Sonic. Hey, where does this look familiar? Yeah. Now we get the idea why that elbow is designed to go outwards instead of forwards. It's all for the purpose of replicating this one pose. I think this might be a reference to the pose he would take in Sonic CD. Like he would be standing there like waving no at the camera. So that's what they're trying to go for with the arm pose this way. I guess on this limited articulation, like he doesn't actually have elbow joints, that's okay. And it's not as bad a pre-assumed pose as the Tomy figure had, which is fine. If you're going to go with a pre-assumed pose for Metal Sonic, this is definitely a better one than what Tomy had going on. Although he still has pin discs in his shoulders, and yes, it still makes the left arm look a little droopier when you put his arm as low as it can go. So obviously it's meant to be upwards like this. And he has pin disc in the hips as well. Although like he does have a cocked off to one side thing going on, so it can look a little bit awkward, but it's not so bad that he can't, it's not as bad as Tomy's pre-assumed pose. It's a pre-assumed pose, but not such an extreme one. I will accept this level of pre-assumed posing. Although it is still weird that I guess there's not too much you can do with that left arm. I guess you can put it like this, like he's like coming in like to Garasa, like whoa, like that, I guess. And then we have Knuckles, and this is where the QC goes on because they obviously gave him two left legs. You see this? Like, you see that right leg and how it's going all off to the side? Look at what happens. Now it's perfectly flat. This is a left leg they stuck into his right hip socket. What the hell, Jakks Pacific? I thought you were supposed to be better at that. So, yeah, that is some pretty terrible QC. And it must be individual QC, because if you look at the figure here, then you can see that leg does sit naturally on his right leg. So, yeah, you done screwed up, Jakks. What the hell? Alright, so, yeah, sorry this one's a bit shorter. Like, this is just a quick little thing. Oh yeah, his guardian swoosh is also way too high up. It looks like it goes into his neck instead of coming down across his chest. Alright, so that's everything I have to say about the 2.5 inch scaled figures. Let's get them up on the display set. And here is everybody chilling out on the Green Hill Zone playset. Yep, got little pegs for everybody to stand. Metal Sonic condescendingly waving his little hand there at the edge of the stage. Sonic and Tails hanging out. I believe these 3 pegs are a little bit too close together, because I tried to get the Chow up there, but they were all kind of crowding each other's space. So, like, I wish these pegs were a little farther apart so you can get 3 characters all standing next to each other. That is the Chow's ring, which as you can see is identical with the rings that actually came with the playset. There's Knuckles, and yeah, everything works out pretty good. Everyone has room, and you can still put someone on the little loop-de-loop if you want. So, that is my review of the 2.5 inch figures. Be wary of the Knuckles figure, because what the hell is this? I'm never going to get over the fact that he has 2 left legs. Jakks Pacific, I expect better of you. How dare you? That was awful. But aside from that, they're fine. Although, yeah, this is obviously the MVP of the set because he actually scales with the bigger guys. There we go. Yeah. So, yes, that is my review of the smaller figures. Thank you all for watching these review videos, and hopefully I did not make it a cluttered mess like I did to my room upon opening that box and throwing the packaging for these figures all over the place. Alright, so this is Wake Angel 2001 signing off to do some cleanup.